What's up, everybody? Justin here to do my Raw Brooklyn. Let me move this a little. My Raw Brooklyn review. The show, first I'll give it a rating. The show was, I'll give it my own rating, and I'll read my Twitter poll. I would say the show is, I'd give it a C. Wasn't anything great. We're 13 days away from WrestleMania 33. It wasn't anything great that you have to see. It wasn't must-see TV. Hopefully next week is, or the Raw after WrestleMania, will probably be very good. Because the crowd will be hype. But I'd give it a C. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. I guess it was okay. So I'll give it a C. If it wasn't for Mick Foley getting fired, and if it wasn't for Jericho's highlight reel, and if it wasn't for Kevin Owens beating down Jericho and Undertaker appearing, I would say this show was an F. It was very boring if those three things did not happen. So here's my Twitter poll. Rate tonight's Raw Brooklyn. Raw Brooklyn gets a rating from my followers or whoever watched it on Twitter and voted. Rate tonight's Raw Brooklyn. 34% gave it an F. 33% gave it a D. So both of those percentages right there, that's 67% of people on Twitter. And these polls don't get that many votes, but who cares? I'm going by 21 votes. And maybe it'll go up more during the night. I don't know. And I don't really care if it goes up or down. So 32% now think it was an F. 32% think it was a D. 18% think it was a C. And 18% think it was a B minus. So all four grades, all four of them right now are tied. All four of them are tied at this very moment. I'll check back on it later. Before I'm done with this Raw Brooklyn review, kicked off with a video recap highlights of last week of the game Triple H destroying Seth Rollins with a crutch and putting him in the Indian Deathlock and leaving Rollins laying. So that is a recap. And then we had Mick Foley, the general manager of Monday Night Raw. Mick Foley comes out, gets a huge pop. Big pop from Brooklyn. And Mick Foley starts talking and he says he stands here a humble man. And he has little index cards in front of him. He's reading off of them. That was pretty sad, but he was reading off them. Because he said Triple H gave him these cards to read off of. He says, I stand here a humble man. What else did he say? He basically got fed up. Threw down the index cards, said, I will not read off of these. He goes, but Mick Foley starts talking about acting like he's going to quit as general manager, acting like he's going to resign. But he didn't because... Well, first he says, I'm going to take a leave of absence. Mick Foley says, I'm going to take a leave of absence as a general manager. Fans didn't like that. I didn't like that. I like Mick Foley. The guy has almost killed himself for the fans. So, if you don't respect him, there's something really wrong with you. If you don't like Mick Foley, there's something wrong with you, in my opinion. So he's reading off cards, and then what happens? His mic cut, he's yelling, throws down the card, starts getting pissed. He says, I'm Mick freaking Foley. I am Mick freaking Foley. And then he drops a F-bomb, it sounded like. He says, I'm Mick fucking Foley. And they cut his mic out, I believe, when he dropped the F-bomb. And of course, they cut his mic out on purpose. So then Mick says, you want to cut my mic out, that's fine. He keeps talking and talking and talking, and then Stephanie comes out. Stephanie McMahon comes out and says, Mick, you're pathetic and stuff like that. And then Stephanie says to him, I got 2 words for you. And then, of course, the crowd has to go, suck it. But it wasn't, those were not the 2 words for Mick Foley. The 2 words were by Stephanie that her father made famous. And then Donald Trump had to steal it for his TV show, The Apprentice. I still can't believe the guy's the president. That's an embarrassment. I don't care if you voted for him, who's ever watching this. Trump is an embarrassment as president. The guy's an embarrassment. He's an embarrassment to everybody in America, in my opinion. The guy's embarrassing. On the Twitter, the guy decides to go on a tweet storm and tweet out stupid, untrue shit that he just makes up. I mean, Trump, I believe, is mentally ill. There's something wrong with that guy. That all he wants to do is tweet about fucking pettiness, little petty shit that the American people don't give a F about. The country doesn't care that you fired Arnold Schwarzenegger when he claims he didn't want to come back to the show. And you had to write on Twitter, no, the ratings were off, why I had to fire him. Now I'm going to go on a rant here a little bit. Who cares if you fired Arnold Schwarzenegger? That guy has probably made over 30 awesome movies that I love. So, fuck you, Trump. Don't be talking. This petty, stupid Twitter wars he starts. Claims Arnold couldn't get ratings, so he fired him. And then he brings up and tweets out of nowhere on like a Saturday morning at 6 in the morning or 8 a.m. He decides to tweet that Obama wiretapped Trump Tower. I doubt it. And the FBI director today said that was a lie, that Obama never wiretapped Trump, and no president can wiretap anybody else. That is against the law. So Trump, my opinion, you're a damn embarrassment to the country, to the United States. You're an embarrassment. You're a god-awful. How you've been acting the first 2 months in office, you're an embarrassment and you're pathetic and you need to go. The guy's not going to change. Trump isn't going to just decide to get off Twitter someday, and yeah, you could argue it's his right to be on Twitter. You could argue that. It's his right to tweet. It's his freedom of speech, that he can tweet whatever he feels, whenever he wants. Well, he shouldn't. Because he has more important things to do, like run a country and not piss off other countries, like Australia and England. You got bigger things to do, Trump, than tweet. So put your little phone down. Don't tweet anymore, even though you will, which is pathetic, because you're a joke. You going on, tweeting out shit that makes you angry, and just tweeting out lies and making up shit that you tweet out, because I'd say 85% of it's made up. You just make up shit and say shit that's not true on Twitter. So, put the damn phone down, run a country, don't worry about petty, damn people you don't like, and pettiness, and trying to tell stupid people that you think that Obama wiretapped Trump Tower, and then stupid people are actually going to believe that. You're an embarrassment as president. That's all I got to say about him. Why did I even talk about Trump? I don't know. Oh yeah, because Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon character started, "You're fired!" And then Trump, of course, had to steal that for The Apprentice. I still can't believe the guy's president. He shouldn't be president. Anybody else would be better. Anybody else. I mean, anybody else would have been better. And I hated Ted Cruz, but that guy would have been at least better than Trump and more normal and not acting like he's mentally ill, tweeting out a storm every week. So anyways, who cares about Trump? So Stephanie says to Mick Foley, I got 2 words for you, you're fired. Mick Foley gets fired. This sucked. I didn't like this segment. I mean, it was good segment, but I didn't like seeing Mick Foley get fired because I'm a fan of his. I thought he was a good general manager. Some people probably disliked Mick Foley, that he kept messing up in his promos and messing up words. Well, the guy's probably had 100 concussions, so give him a break. So then Sami Zayn comes out, defends Mick Foley, and goes up to Mick Foley, says, Mick, he says, you were the only guy here fighting for us. You can't go. You cannot go. And Zayn gets in Stephanie's face. He's about to leave the ring. Then he gets in her face. This was good. And Zayn says, this is wrong. He says, what you're doing is wrong. Firing Mick Foley's wrong. So Sami Zayn standing up to Stephanie. That doesn't last long because then Samoa Joe's music hits and Stephanie makes a match, I believe, or the match just started, whatever. Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn, pretty good match. The crowd's pretty hype for it, probably because it's these 2 guys and they're pretty loved by the fans. And it was the first match, so the crowd's hype. Samoa Joe wins by, again, tap out. Sami Zayn submits. The guy passed out from the Coquina clutch. Up next, we had Charlotte taking on Dana Brooke. Thank God Dana Brooke got no reaction. I heard from somebody on Twitter that I believe was in the arena at the show, and they said Dana Brooke got no reaction at all. Good job, Brooklyn, because she doesn't deserve a reaction. She sucks as a wrestler. Thankfully, Charlotte wins. Thank God she won. Do not push Dana Brooke as a babyface, because you don't need her as a top babyface. So, next we had Bayley, and before Mick Foley left, let me go back a little. Before Mick Foley left, before Charlotte Dana Brooke, we had Foley backstage talking with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn hugs him and says, you are my hero. Shakes his hand, gives Mick Foley a hug. That was cool to see. Zayn looked emotional. So I believe Mick Foley probably was his hero growing up. And one of the guys that inspired him to get in to be a pro wrestler. So then Foley walks away from Zayn and finds Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro give Mick Foley a big hug. Say, you were great for putting us together. You believed in us when nobody else would. That was pretty cool. Then Mick Foley says, you two just keep fighting a good fight, stuff like that. And then Bayley is staring at Mick Foley. Bayley and Mick Foley start staring at each other. Bayley's a hugger, so Bayley goes up to Mick Foley, gives him a big hug. And then Bayley looks worried and scared and afraid because who is behind Mick Foley standing there? None other than the Game Triple H standing there. Staring at Mick Foley like he's pathetic. Like, get the hell out of the building already. So then Triple H, this is pretty funny. He goes up to Mick Foley, says, well, and there were doors, like, I guess to go out the arena, there were doors there. Triple H says, well, have a nice day. That was pretty damn funny. So now back to Charlotte defeated Dana Brooke. Then Bayley's backstage in a segment with Stephanie McMahon. And Stephanie asked Bayley, do you want a hug? Do you want a hug? Bayley says, no, I don't want a hug. And then Stephanie says, Nia Jax beat you last week, so she's going to get another opportunity to go to WrestleMania to make it a Fatal 4-Way Women's title match for Raw. And Stephanie says, Bayley, it's you again against Nia Jax, and this time it's no DQ. But that'd be later, I believe, in the start of hour number 3, I think. So then up next we had TJ Perkins up against Brian Kendrick. Brian Kendrick wins. Then he cuts an odd promo. This was just stupid and weird. I guess somebody from the creative team came up with it. It was a stupid idea to do it. Kendrick gets on the mic and says, Tozawa's nowhere to be found. He started calling him out, and then Kendrick says he's not here. Because, look at this. He picks up, I have his passport. He left it on the ground backstage last week. Whatever. Nobody would leave their passport on the ground, but okay. That's what Kendrick said he did. Kendrick probably stole it out of his bag or something. So Kendrick's holding him his passport and says, you're banned. I don't know if he said you're banned, but said you can't enter the country. You can't get here. Well, that kind of pissed me off. Because immediately I thought of stupid Trump's ban of Muslims. His ban against Muslims. That's totally ridiculous, and that's totally wrong to do. That's pathetic that a president wants to ban an entire race. That's pathetic and embarrassing. So that's what Kendrick cutting a promo about having his passport, that's what it reminded me of, and it pissed me off. But maybe Kendrick came up with it. I don't know. Maybe Kendrick wanted to get heat on himself. So that's why he brought up he had his passport and he's not here. That just made me think of what's going on in the country and the damn travel ban. That, by the way, 2 judges shut you down, Trump, because they know you're wrong. So then up next we had Goldberg, Lesnar video hyping up their WrestleMania Universal Championship match. This was a hype video. You had Ric Flair saying Goldberg just had the it factor. I think Jericho said Goldberg was lightning in a bottle. I agree. Ric Flair said Goldberg was just the it factor, and I agree. He did have the look. And especially in 98. The society was different. Wrestling was in a different era. I mean, way more fans were watching wrestling in 98, 97 when Goldberg debuted. So, I don't know. For some reason, Goldberg did have the look. He did have the intensity. He didn't need to be a good wrestler. He didn't need to wrestle more than 5 minutes. All he was good at, and all he was good at getting a huge pop, and he was super over. I will admit that. I was not a Goldberg fan. I didn't hate the guy, but I was more of a WWF fan, WWF guy, and I was a Stone Cold Steve Austin fan over Goldberg, because obviously they looked alike, but they were a lot different. Austin could work. Goldberg couldn't work a match, and Austin could cut way better promos. But Goldberg's character, the guy didn't have to talk. His gimmick and his character, all he had to do, come out, destroy people, spear, jackhammer, and then the guy was super over, so I don't blame him. He didn't have to do anything else to get over. As I said, it was a different era. It was during the Attitude Era. I don't have an answer as to why Goldberg got over, but he did. And it was obvious that he was super over. He was so over that they came close, or they might have sold out the Georgia Dome for a Monday Nitro. That's how over he was. They had like 40,000 people in the Georgia Dome on a Monday Nitro. Goldberg against Hollywood Hogan. Goldberg was so over that Hogan put him over on Monday Nitro, and he won the world title. And he was also U.S. champion. So Goldberg-Lesnar video, this was pretty good to hype up their match. I'm not really excited. I'm kind of excited for it, but I know Lesnar is going to win. So then up next, after the hype video for Goldberg-Lesnar, we had Stephanie, Stephanie backstage telling Sheamus and Cesaro. If you don't win tonight in a triple threat, if you don't win, you're out of WrestleMania, and you don't get an opportunity to be on WrestleMania. That just pissed me off, made me hate Stephanie even more this episode. Because she's trying to punish Sheamus and Cesaro for just, being friendly with Mick Foley. So that is pathetic, Stephanie. I guess Stephanie's back at 100% heel now. She's a very good heel, by the way. She's very good at people hating her. So I'm next at Bayley, or what was next? I think I went ahead. Kendrick Perkins was, I think, after the highlight reel. So I'll talk about the highlight reel. Jericho did a highlight reel tonight. It was pretty damn entertaining. Jericho got on the mic. It says, "I don't need your friendship, Kevin Owens." These aren't his exact words. I'm just saying some of what he said. Jericho says, "I don't need you because I got my friends." He says, "I got my friends in the arena." And then that got a big pop. He says, "I got my friends in the arena." Or friends of, yeah, I got my friends, and then that got a pop, and he says, "The friends of Jericho. Cheer me on, man." That got a big pop. And that's funny. And then he says, "You want to know who the real Kevin Owens is? This is the real Kevin Owens." They put up a picture on the big screen of a 16-year-old Kevin Owens going like this, doing the Jericho pose, Y2J pose, and he had a Y2J shirt on from, I don't know what year it was, when he was 16. I don't know what year it was, but I think it was 2001. I think it was a 2001 Jericho shirt when he was a babyface. And then later in 2001, he became a heel, but he was babyface for most of the year. So Kevin Owens, a 16-year-old with a Y2J shirt on. He was an obvious fan of his, fanboy of his. He had a Jericho poster up. So then Jericho says, he says, "That's the real Kevin Owens. You were a mark of mine. You were a fan of me." And then Jericho says, "You're the fan." Or, yeah, he says, "Kevin Owens, you were the fan of Jericho. Marking out, man." That was pretty damn funny. And then in 2014, Jericho says, "You DM'd me, direct messaged me on Twitter, and you asked Jericho," and Jericho says that Jericho was saying, "You, Kevin Owens, you looked at me as your idol. I was your idol." So Jericho says, and he was damn good on the microphone, by the way. I'm not explaining it too good, but Jericho tonight, the guy was on fire on the highlight reel. He was tremendous. So he says, I was your idol. Jericho says, "I was your idol, and I gave you some advice on Twitter." He shared the screenshot of the direct message, and Jericho says, "You were scared coming into here, afraid you were going to piss off the wrong people, and you wanted advice." So then Jericho said he gave him advice. And then Jericho's teasing it, about to put Kevin Owens on the list. He says, "You know what, Kevin Owens, he was about to put him on the list, and then Kevin Owens attacks. First, I believe Samoa Joe's music hit, then Samoa Joe came out, distracted Jericho. Then Kevin Owens came from behind, attacks Jericho from behind, and beats him down. Jericho tried to fight back, but Kevin Owens kept beating down Jericho." So that is a good segment. Very good highlight reel. I enjoyed it. And then up next, we had Bayley, Nia Jax, no DQ match. If Nia Jax wins, she's in the Fatal 4-Way, and it becomes a Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship. No DQ. This was pretty good. It wasn't great, but it was good enough. Nia Jax wins. No one's shocked by that. I still think, and I would still like the match to be a triple threat. But it's going to be a fatal four-way no matter what. Nia Jax is added to the Women's Championship, so it's a fatal four-way now. So then after that, during the match, we actually had CM Punk chants. At the very end of the match, some fans, it wasn't many, but I heard CM Punk chants at the end of Nia, Bayley. That was stupid, Brooklyn. Whoever chants CM Punk, you're stupid, stupid idiots, and you belong to the list. And you should go on the list of Jericho. So then up next we had Triple H in-ring interview with Michael Cole. It was pretty good. Probably went 3 minutes too long, but it was good. Triple H got a lot of good heat. Ripped the fans a lot. In the beginning, the fans started chanting CM Punk. Again, you stupid idiots. That chanted that, you're stupid idiots. Triple H just shut them down and started saying, I know you want to see Rollins, but he's not here tonight. He's not here and he's not coming. You people are so stupid. That's pretty funny. So then Triple H in the ring says, Seth, I'll leave you a ticket. I will do this for you. I'll leave you a ticket in the nosebleed seats at WrestleMania so you can watch. And then Triple H brings up, no. He says, you know what? You people want it. He says, I know you people want to see it. He says, do you want to see me and Seth Rollins fight at WrestleMania? Of course, they got to pop. Then Triple H says, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw up a contract and present it to Rollins next week. But when I injure him, and I will, when I injure him, he cannot sue me, my wife, or WWE. So Rollins cannot sue anybody. Even though his knee will not be 100%, he'll probably be, I don't know, 60%, 75% maybe. And I'm not talking about the storyline they did last week where Triple H broke the crutch over his knee and the knee brace. I'm not putting that into this. Showing up at Mania, Rollins' knee will probably be, my guess is 60% or 75%. He'll be okay. He'll be fine with a knee brace. He'll probably be able to do a lot with a knee brace. In my opinion, Rollins should wear that knee brace from now on for the rest of his career because I think he needs it to keep his knees in place so it doesn't happen again. So the guy doesn't get another torn MCL or ACL. So Triple H says, I'll leave a contract for you. It's up to you, Rollins, for next week if he's going to sign it or not to face Triple H at WrestleMania. Up next, we had Cesaro and Sheamus in a triple threat. I think it's supposed to be a triple threat because Anderson and Gallows came out and then Cass and Enzo came out. They got a huge pop. Enzo and Cass are super over in Brooklyn. They're super over in Brooklyn. So they do their gimmick on the mic, and then real quick, Anderson and Gallows attack, I believe, Enzo and Cass, take them out, and then they go in the ring, get bro kicked, and Sheamus and Cesaro win in about 1 or 2 minutes. It was really fast, and it was over really fast. So up next we had, get back to these other notes. Up next, we had the New Day appear in a video segment. It was probably backstage. I was surprised. Pretty damn surprised to see Xavier Woods. I was pretty surprised to see Xavier Woods in the promo with Big E and Kofi. I was surprised to see Xavier Woods because the guy was in a sex tape with Paige a couple years ago. Or 2 or 3 years ago is my guess. But he's on TV. Xavier Woods, it was rumored he was going to be held off Raw. He was not. He appeared. And that was pretty surprising. So then, in the beginning of the promo, Big E says to Xavier. Big E says, "Is there something you want to tell us?" That was tremendous. And then when I heard Big E say that, I was like, there's no way Xavier's going to bring up the sex tape or apologize for it. There's no way he's going to do that. And plus, they're PG, so he wouldn't do that anyways. But that's pretty damn funny. Big E says to Xavier, Big E says, "Is there something you want to tell us?" If I was Xavier, I would not want to tell any of the fans anything about it, because I'd be embarrassed about it being out there on the internet probably forever. So, up next we had Tony Nese against Austin Aries. This was pretty decent. Pretty good. Austin Aries wins. I was happy to see that. I hope Aries wins the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania. Him and Neville could have the match of the show. It will be very good, I think. Goldberg Brock video package part 2. This was pretty entertaining and pretty good. Now the main event, which I wasn't happy with until The Undertaker showed up. Roman against Braun Strowman. We just saw it at Fastlane. But they had to give it to us again, which I don't know why. It was stupid. I guess it made sense to have Braun in there with Roman because The Undertaker appeared and chokeslammed Braun Strowman. So the match was pretty damn boring. I was bored. I was tired. I'm still tired, but watching a match, I was really tired. I went and I actually closed my eyes and started falling asleep during Roman and Braun. I was like this. Head down, everything. Sleeping in my chair. In my recliner. And then I heard Undertaker's gong. Undertaker's gong. His bell goes off. Right away I went. Popped my eyes open, and I was excited. I was excited to see Undertaker. I didn't know if he was going to appear, but I heard his theme. I was like, he might appear. Because why not have him appear? It would be a good end to this Raw Brooklyn, which wasn't that great. It was just an okay show. Or, I guess, a little better than okay. So Undertaker appears, lights go on. Undertaker's in the middle of the ring. I don't know how he did that. Because the lights are only out for like 20 seconds. 10 seconds, maybe. Or probably 20 seconds. He's probably under the ring, I guess. Because Undertaker, I don't think, could run down the ramp that quick and get in the ring. So he's probably under the ring. That's my guess of how Undertaker appears. He probably comes out from under the ring. I don't know how they do it. But that's my guess. At least I heard that before they used to do that. Wrestlers would hide under the ring for 2-3 hours if they had to come out and appear when the lights come back on. That's pretty crazy. So anyways, Undertaker's in the middle of the ring staring at Roman. Crowd is going crazy. Brooklyn's blowing the roof off the Barclays Center. Undertaker looks back at Braun to check on him, make sure he doesn't attack him from behind. And then Braun comes from behind. Taker turns around, grabs him by his throat, chokeslams Braun. That got a big pop. And then, of course, after Undertaker chokeslammed him, the guy had a look on his face like he was in pain. I don't know if it's his hip or back or whatever. It's probably one of those. I believe Undertaker needs hip surgery still. He hasn't got it. I thought he got it last year after Mania, but he didn't. So Undertaker, after he chokes on him, he looked like he was in a little bit of pain. He probably is. The guy's body's taken a real beating being in wrestling in WWE for over 20 years. I mean, 26 years, really. This year is his 26th year being employed by the WWE. Because he signed in late 1990. So he's been with the company 26 years. I don't know how many matches he's had, but it's probably been close to 8,000-9,000 or more. So Taker looked in pain after the chokeslam. maybe I'm just looking into it too much, but he made a face like he was in pain a little. Or like, after he chokes on him, maybe he's like, maybe he felt some pain. I don't know. Then, of course, he turns around. I knew this was coming, and I was pissed off. So then he turns around and gets speared by Roman Reigns. I understand. They had to do that to get Roman to look a little bit strong, like maybe he can beat Undertaker, and he probably will, which that will piss me off. Undertaker loses to Roman, that'll piss me off. I know it will. But anyways, Taker gets speared. That sucked. But I was glad to see Undertaker appear 13 days before WrestleMania 33. I'm excited for WrestleMania 33. It's not going to be probably won't be one of the top 10 WrestleManias or one of my top 5 or 10 favorites. But I still think it'll be a good show and it'll be exciting. There'll probably be 3 to 4 very, very good matches that were pretty damn good on the show. And I guarantee you, WrestleMania 33 will be better than 32 was. So this ends my Raw Brooklyn review. Follow me on Twitter. You know where I am. If you don't, I have my Twitter handle in the description. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. This was my Raw Brooklyn review, 13 days from WrestleMania. Hope you enjoyed my review. Sorry I went long. Too bad, it's my show. If you don't want to watch more than a minute, turn it off. Bye for now, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll be back tomorrow night with a SmackDown Live review.